Off it goes to Muliaina at first receiver. Now Slade keeps it low, hoping the ball will bounce over the head of fullback Kirasoni, but it won't do that. And he makes a little kick, nicely anticipated by Mills Muliaina, looking to line up someone with a pass. In the end, takes the tackle. There's the 10-metre line. There's Jimmy Cowan. Off it goes now to Slade. Now it's with Crockett. Cowan. Off now to Williams. Smith. Good tackle again, this time by Kalu, the lock forward. The ball's been lost. Now the Fijians on the counter. These guys can run, and now the All Blacks are really going to have to chase back, and fires it back in field, and little halfback Siri Levu will score the try. What a run from Maradego. And you've got to remember with the Fijians that the forwards are often as quick as the backs, and that was the case.
Well, they've deserved that, Fiji. They've had much the better of the play in the second half, really. And it came from a turnover at the breakdown. So there's the turnover. And the big forwards, well, off they go. He thought he was going to get there. Look at the smile on his face. Then it was into Siri Levu. Had a good match. Talented player, this young man. That's well-deserved, Fiji.
Well, it was taken in by Conrad Smith and ripped clear by the Fijians, who have been pretty good, actually, in that situation. The breakdowns, they haven't been cleaned out too badly. Great pace, and Guildford coming across. Probably had him covered, but there was enough men in support, and they deserve that for their effort in the first 15 minutes of the second half. They've been good for that.
It was Ongani Borutu, who was the man who sped down the touchline.
Yeah, you'd have to say they've dominated the second half.
Yeah, they've had the better of it, no doubt about that. They had 1 minute of pressure in the All Blacks 22 in the first half. They've probably got about 3 minutes now, at least, I would think.
Conversion attempt, and it is over. So 32 points to 7, and we're now 13 into the second half.
And Grant Nisbet.
Pause, engage.
Off the back, and away goes to Wepu. Puts a little kick in. Now the chasers are coming, and they're going to score here, one of the two, and it's Conrad Smith. Clever kick, very clever kick, and Conrad Smith got there first.
A clever kick indeed. So the All Blacks, part of their attack structure off scrums on the open side is to go 8 to 9 with 9 carrying and options off them, and one of those options is to grub her in behind. So just see it here. More of a chip kick. It was a race for the two Hurricanes boys that have pitched. Got the little off break to Conrad Smith. He claims it.
Well, the Wellington boys on song here, aren't they? 3 of them involved here, and in the end 2 of them fighting it out. Wepu with one of his first touches is a very influential one. So Conrad Smith wins the race. Enjoys every single moment of it. Fiji left exposed, and for the first time in the second half, the All Blacks do have occasion to smile.
Yeah, it's a set-piece try too. Even though it was from a kick, it was planned. Coaching staff and teams always like it when moves you practice during the week come off and you score points from them.
It was the 5th try tonight. Score goes up by 2 more to 39 points to 7. So 5 tries, 5 different individuals: Sivivatu, Slade, Hoare, Thompson and Smith.
For the All Blacks, a big change here. Colin Slade's night at the office is done and dusted. Dan Carter in 21, a very popular change. Grant Fox should have a longer period of time to analyse. Thumbs up?
Yeah, I think he's done a good job, Colin Slade. He hadn't had a lot of rugby this year, and he got a good 60 minutes and performed pretty efficiently.
Toeava now to Bai. Haven't brought the ball very wide so far tonight to Goniva. All Blacks looking to get players to the ball. It's a real scramble going on here. It should come on the All Black side. Finally does. As now the little kick and chase by Wepu leading the charge. Muliaina. Wepu now away it goes to Ben Smith. Smith going hard. Gives it away, and Wepu in good support. And the little halfback scores.
He's got good vision, Perry Wepu. And from 2 kicks he's executed tonight, the All Blacks have scored. That time it was his chip kick that Muliaina ran onto. And Ben Smith in the end unselfishly offloaded to Wepu in support when I think he had breached them. It came from the turnover here where the All Blacks just drove through. It was a bit messy, but it ultimately gone back the All Blacks' way when McCaw secured it. Wepu sees a space in behind. Muliaina from the inside in support. Wepu, it's 3 sort of touches in that movement. 1 off the foot, 2 off the hand. Smith actually wouldn't have scored.
That actually, really, when you think about it, Grant, quite a clever kick when you see it from that angle, because had he kicked it to try to kick it over the top of the advancing player, he never would have got it through there. So he actually hooked it late inside the body of that player, and it was beautifully done.
Yeah, I mean, I like Piri Wepu as a rugby player, and I just think he's clever. He's got a good feel for the game. He sees things really well. His option taking is almost invariably good.
Good Toeava again. Thompson's worked hard tonight. He's up very quickly to make the tackle on Manu. And by goes again. Looking to outflank the All Blacks. Oh, missed tackle. And a kick and chase, and they've got some pace. Wepu having to fly back. And, oh, this is going to be a try. And brilliantly taken by Goniva. Verniki Goniva has scored their 2nd try, the Fijians, and it was clever.
That was a brilliant bit of skill. This is Wepu was going to pick the ball up. It got fly kicked out of his hand. Well, that came from pretty patient build-up from Fiji, but ultimately a missed tackle by Conrad Smith, and he'll be disappointed in that. Just bounced off. And it was Wepu in cover defence. Just watch that. He thought he would have had it. Boom. Out of his hands. Very clever from Goniva.
Oh, brilliant skills. Gee, they're good to watch, Fiji. And they have been good tonight, particularly in the second half. This kick goes over. They're back to 14 all in this section of 40 minutes. But that's a brilliant skill there. He's got some pretty quick players after him. He dodged the advances of Muliaina and was patient enough to save the situation.
So your arm, no strength in your arm. You got to hit with your shoulder. And so tackle technique not quite right by Conrad Smith, and he got busted.
Well, he won't miss many tackles this season. It's a rarity. It really is. So here's the conversion attempt, and it goes through. So Fiji get to 14. 46 to 14. 8 minutes left.
What's the most they've scored against the All Blacks? 18, I think.
And you were telling me, I think, before the game, Grant, 68 is the least they've conceded. So,
well, yes, correct, in the official test matches. So I don't think the All Blacks are going to get to 68 tonight, but Fiji might get past 18 the way they're going. Again, the same backline formation. So do they have a move that goes to the right-hand side here? They don't have enough numbers, the All Blacks, realistically.
Pause, engage.
We'll try again. It's a pretty good scrum. It stayed in formation, but it's going to be a penalty try. Well, a penalty try.
Sort of sensed that was coming, but I'm actually trying to work out what it was for. I'm not sure what Fiji, they were going backwards, but what was the offence?
All I can think of is there was a collapse on the far side on your side, fellas, but it seemed pretty clear and clean on this side.
Well, let's just have a look here. What's going on here? Oh, I still can't work it out.
No, I can't either. Certainly it didn't appear as if there was too much apart from backpedaling going on.
Anyway, the 50 is up.
So what's the...
No, still can't see anything.
The ruling is a try probably would have been scored, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, but what was the offence?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Now Williams. He's running out the full 80 minutes. Ali Williams. As Wepu scoops it off the ground. Muliaina's knocked it on. Well, no back, he said. So here's Guildford, who's got all the pace in the world. Sends the pass in, and Muliaina, try number 33 in Test rugby for the veteran fullback.
Well, Stu Dickinson called that Muliaina hadn't knocked the ball on. Well, in my view, he had. We don't pull enough of them up in rugby. But it wasn't ruled upon, and Guildford unselfishly looked for support. Pass that was flat at best too.
Try converted by Carter. So what's that for Dan Carter? 6. What was the difference?
8.
Looking quickly at his piece of paper.
8 to get ahead. 7 was a difference. 8 to get ahead. How many? He's had 2 conversions, has he?
3 now.
3.
I agree with you, Grant, entirely.
Well, that was probably forward, and the other one going back was a knock on.
Definitely a knock on. He lost that ball forward at point of impact. There's no two ways about that. So Fiji might feel a little bit hard done by there.
Well, the last 2 tries really.
Yep.
So siren goes as the kickoff is made, and that hasn't gone the 10 metres, and so that is full time. The game is over. The All Blacks have had the victory. You wouldn't say they're doing handstands in the box there, but they've got a win. They've scored 8 tries to 2 and have won it by 60-14.
Well, in a funny way, it was an appropriate way for the match to finish with a mistake, because there were plenty of them through the match, particularly by the All Blacks. So it's a starting point. Wasn't a great performance at all. They are working on a new structure. It's clear they've got plenty of work to do. Fiji, for their part, well, they brought physicality, they brought enthusiasm, they had a good second half performance, they picked up a couple of tries, a couple of spectacular tries really. So they'll go away from here disappointed at the margin, but happy with their contribution to the match.